If you're considering making a move to the Atlanta area and you love to stay active, well, this video is for you. I'm going to cover different areas here in the Atlanta area where you can live an active lifestyle. I've got my workout tank top on for the spirit of this video. I'm a fitness person myself, so I'm excited to share with you some different areas around town where you can have an active lifestyle. Whether you like to run, ride a bike, do group fitness classes, or just enjoy the outdoors, I'm going to tell you all about some of the different trails that are out there and different places to live where you can live that active lifestyle. But first, my name is Molly and welcome back to my channel where I talk all things living here in the Atlanta area. If you are thinking about making a move, you want to discuss further of where to live or you need some help with that, just reach out to me. All my contact information is down below in the comment section. Don't be shy to reach out. I would love to help you out. But you guys, okay, so fitness is kind of my thing. I got my water bottle here. I've got my protein drink. So let's get into it. Let's talk about places to live that active lifestyle. Now, I will preface this with a couple of things. One, I am not going to talk about the suburbs. I'm strictly talking about living ITP in the city. If you are wanting to live in the city, yes, you can actually get a lot of green space in the city. You do not have to live out into the suburbs. So we're strictly talking about living in the city ITP. Second of all, there's no way I'm going to be able to cover every, corner and nook and cranny of where you could work out. So if I don't mention a place that you like, please don't get offended. All I can say is if I glossed over something or I didn't mention something that you love, put it down in that comment section so you can let other viewers know where you like to work out. I am going to pop up on a map and just kind of give you a tour around the Atlanta area and talk about different places that you can live that active lifestyle. So let's jump in. All right, so here is our map of Atlanta and we'll just dive right into it. Let me scroll in here a little bit. I'm going to start out with an obvious one. There is, center of the city, the heart of Atlanta, you're going to find Piedmont Park. This is a very popular park to take walks around, jogs. They've got some great trails. Piedmont Park is 185 acres. They have a pool. They've got a dog park. It's just a lovely area to walk around. There's festivals around there all the time. If you live in Midtown, which has a ton of high-rise buildings, this is just great because even though this is probably like the most pavement heavy area of Atlanta, you are right next door, very walkable over to Piedmont Park. So this is just it's like the Central Park of New York, but here in the Atlanta area. And actually the person that designed Central Park in New York designed Piedmont Park. So also close by to Midtown is probably the next thing that I have to mention is the Atlanta Beltline. Now, if you have not watched one of my Atlanta Beltline videos, you need to go and watch them so you can see exactly what it's all about. But a quick refresher, the Atlanta Beltline, it's not quite all done that, but we're getting closer than where we were, 5 years ago. But this is a walking, jogging trail. Who knew that some pavement and a walking path would become so popular? But it is a great way to connect to all these fun, different in-town neighborhoods. So these green lines are areas that are currently finished. The red lines are where they are working on the trail as we speak. And the gray sections are where they are still in the design planning phase. So I will say by far the most popular section of the Atlanta Beltline, this is a 22-mile loop trail, is right here on the east side of the city. So the East Side Beltline Trail. This covers a lot of what we call the in-town Atlanta neighborhoods. So if you live anywhere along this East Side Beltline Trail in particular, this is probably the most commercial heavy area with a lot of restaurants and breweries. There are a lot of fitness classes, like I think there's a Burn Cycle or Cycle Burn. I mean, there's a couple different fitness places along the Beltline too. So if you like taking a walk, you like taking a jog, you can definitely do that here. And you'll see bikes out there, scooters. I will say though, if you are riding a bike, do not try to attempt to ride your bike on a nice spring or fall weekend. There are going to be tons of people out. It'll be really difficult to ride your bike at a good pace because the sidewalk will be packed with people just walking, and it's going to be hard to weave in and out of all those people. So don't try to ride your bike there on really nice days, especially on a weekend. So let me drill down to some of the particular neighborhoods here along the East Side Beltline Trail. Again, I have videos where I literally ride my bike down the East Side Beltline and talk about some of the different places to live, like right on the Beltline. But one area would be Virginia Highland. You can easily walk over to the Beltline that way. Also Midtown, again, if you live in a high-rise condo. Now, you know, if you live kind of in the heart of Midtown, it's probably a good solid 1 to 1.5 miles to the access point of the East Side Beltline Trail. The Old Fourth Ward is right over in here. This is a big section. I would say, you know, the more popular part of the Old Fourth Ward section is definitely going to be closer to the Beltline. So here's the Beltline, and you've got Ponce City Market right here. So anything kind of right in through here is going to be the most popular part of the Old Fourth Ward section, where you're close to the Beltline access, Ponce City Market. There is the Old Fourth Ward Park right here. So that's going to be your most popular area. If you're looking over areas in here in the Old Fourth Ward section, not as developed, I would say, is the best way to put it. And I would definitely focus more attention on this section kind of to the east of the Boulevard Road. So let me keep on scrolling down here, and we'll touch on a few more options here. Inman Park is another, you know, very popular neighborhood, very walkable. This is Inman Park right here. It brushes right along the edge of the Atlanta Beltline. This is where the Beltline keeps going, right through here. But the Inman Park area has a lot of different little fitness places. I think they've got like a kickboxing club there, a couple other boutique fitness places. So again, as you are strolling along the Beltline, there's even a little pocket of some gyms right along here. But trust me, you will have the most fun time if you are able to access the Beltline from your house, roll out of bed, go for a walk, return home, grab your coffee in the morning. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So if you keep on going south a little bit more, you're going to run into Reynoldstown, which is right here. Let me help you out here. If you're getting a little confused, let me try to draw the Beltline in a different color here. So this is where the Beltline is. It's running right through here. So now let me go back to my kind of purple color. Let's try this again. So we've got Reynoldstown here. We have Cabbagetown on this side of the Beltline. Either of these would be great options as well, because it's very easy to access the Beltline. And like I said, anywhere where you can access the East Side Beltline, you're going to be golden, because you can just jog little ways and you're going to get to some fun commercial kind of spot. Once you get down past I-20, you're going to hit Glenwood Park. This is another cute little area, very walkable neighborhood. Easy access onto the Beltline that you can walk up and hit, you know, other popular areas north of here, or you can trickle down and get over into the Grant Park area. This is Ormwood Park right here, and then you've got this giant area here called Grant Park. Now, Grant Park in itself, that's a nice area if you are an active person, you like taking leisurely walks. This Grant Park area, this is actually called Grant Park. It is, gosh, I wrote this down of how many acres it is, 132 acres. So it's a beautiful park, lots of trails to walk in through here. They've got some basketball goals, tennis courts, there's a public pool. The Atlanta Zoo is located here. So they also have a farmer's market, which actually it's not at the Grant Park anymore, it's a little further south. But just a lovely area to walk around. And I will say Grant Park has some pretty good dedicated bike lanes that run along Cherokee Avenue and go up northward. So if you're into biking, you also have a little bit of bikeability. Is that a word? Bikeability here in the Grant Park area. Plus you have access to the Beltline here that is under construction right now here in the southern part of the Grant Park area. So there you go. Those are some options there kind of in the in-town east side Beltline. Like I said, you can't go wrong living anywhere along the east side Beltline. It's just a fun place to be with all of the commercial, and you can easily find a lot of fitness places just right off of the Beltline as well. Okay, now talk about a couple other in-town neighborhoods that it may not be apparent at first, but I want to talk about Candler Park, which is right roughly here. So Candler Park, what I like about this one, you have a green space here. I wouldn't say there's a ton of trails in Candler Park. You have nice big fields. There is a nice playground there. There is a 9-hole golf course. But what I like about it, especially if you are like a biker or a runner, you can access from the north side of this neighborhood Freedom Parkway Trail. And this will connect all the way over here until we hit the Beltline. Let's see, where am I drawing this to? You'll run over here and then boom, you'll hit the Beltline, which is right through here. So that's what I love about Candler Park, is that you have easy connectivity over into the Beltline to keep continually to, if you're looking for a long distance run or a long bike ride, you have a nice trail to connect you over there. So that's what I like about Candler Park. Another area that to not discount is the neighborhood of Kirkwood. Now the Kirkwood is roughly, I would say something like, don't shoot me if I don't have this perfectly drawn out, but this is roughly the Kirkwood area. Now, what I like about Kirkwood is that, again, if you are a biker, there is a nice bike lane right here down Hosea that will bring you all the way out over into the Moreland area. So that's a nice lane there. Now, I am not a city biker, so I don't know all the ins and outs of all the best bike lanes, because I will say, sometimes here in Atlanta, the bike lanes are a little bit choppy. They'll go for a while and then they'll just stop. And then you have to know like where to divert and get over to another bike lane. But what I have noticed is that there are some pretty good bike lanes here and there, and I just want to point this one out. But another thing about Kirkwood, of a walking trail that is nice, is you've got this little trail right here called the Trolley Trail. It used to stop kind of like right here, but then they have added on to it over the past year. And so now it goes all the way over into the Edgewood, and it kind of stops there, but eventually maybe it's gotten more done. I'll have to go back and check, but it will connect over into the Beltline eventually as well. So the Beltline will come down here. So this trolley trail line has made some progress, and it's another great way to have access to the Beltline. I would say the trolley trail line is about, gosh, I'm thinking maybe under 2 miles total. Now, other things that are in Kirkwood as far as gyms, there is a Planet Fitness that is kind of down here off of Memorial. There is a YMCA that's kind of over here in the East Lake area. So not as many gyms. It's just more of, if you're wanting an outdoor trail, you could certainly have that access here in the Kirkwood area. Now, moving right along, let's talk about the southwest area of Atlanta, kind of over in this area. By far the biggest draw over here is going to be that southwest or the west side Beltline that comes up through here. Eventually it comes kind of through there. So the Beltline here is a big draw for the southwest area. Now, I will say there's not quite as much commercial development as the east side. So there are a couple of things. There's the Lee and White district that you can, if you're walking along the Beltline, you could stop there. There's a lot of little breweries along there, so that's kind of fun. They opened up a food hall now. So that's kind of like your best outdoor active lifestyle scene that you can find over in the southwest Atlanta area. There are a couple other things though I want to point out. One of them is this Perkerson Park. This is located over in the neighborhood of Capitol View. It's a 50-acre park. It's actually really beautiful. They have some really nice, pristine tennis courts. I mean, if you're looking for a good tennis court, go over to Perkerson Park. I don't think a lot of people know about it, but they also have something very unique here. They have an ultimate frisbee golf course. Is it ultimate frisbee or is it disc frisbee? Whatever you want to call it. But they have an 18-hole disc frisbee course there that is a great way to get some exercise and have fun at the same time. There's some basketball courts, there's a playground, and they have a little bit of a splash pad as well. So I like that for this area. It's a really nice park. One other option that I will mention is this Cascade Nature Preserve. This is kind of out there by its lonesome. I mean, if you live over here kind of in the Cascade area, you could walk over to it. Otherwise, you're probably going to be hopping in your car and driving over here. But if you're looking for a good, nice nature walk, you could certainly check out this Cascade Nature Preserve. It's 135 acres. I think roughly if you did a loop around it, it's about 2.5 miles long. So if you're just looking for a nice nature walk, being out in the wilderness or what feels like the wilderness, a lot of trees, forestry, and seeing some waterfalls, this is a good option here in the Southwest Atlanta area. But as far as, a lot of gyms, there's just not a ton of, small little boutique type of gyms. You're going to find a Planet Fitness right here in the West End commercial area. And there's a handful of small little gyms, but not as many prevalent here in the Southwest Atlanta area. So I would say if you are, super fitness, want to be surrounded by a ton of fitness stuff, you may not find that here in the West End, but there are some great outdoor opportunities in this area. Okay, next up, let's talk about the West Midtown area. The West Midtown area is a super trendy area, very industrial turned chic. So we're talking about areas kind of like right in here. This is kind of like the heart of West Midtown right here, just below this water plant right here. Here's what I like about West Midtown is, one, the Beltline will eventually kind of breeze through the upper end of the heart of West Midtown. But one thing that is big here is this West Side Reservoir Park, or the West Side Park. This is now Atlanta's biggest park. It opened up just a couple of years ago. It is 280 acres. It has a lot of scenic trails that you can walk around. But just a little cautionary note for you, there are some hills in this park. So make sure you bring your energy that day, because there are some hills that you will tackle if you are, doing some walking trails. And there are some great bike lanes there as well. And especially if you go on a certain day, it won't be super packed, which is kind of nice. And you get some nice views of the Midtown downtown skyline. So nice, pretty park. There are public restrooms there. So yeah, if you're looking for a nice little area to walk around, this is definitely an option for you. Now, one other thing is, if you are kind of in that heart of the West Midtown area, this is where you want to put on your Lululemon clothes and feel trendy. This is where you want to be, because there are a lot of trendy boutique workout group facilities. You're gonna, think Orange Theory, but yoga, and I don't even know what the names of all of the fitness places are called, but you're going to find group studios that are very trendy and high intensity workout type of places all through here in the West Midtown area. So I'd say for the most part, West Midtown, think fancy boutique gyms, or else you can hop over to the West Side Park and get your outdoor space there. But let's talk a little bit further up in the West Side area, like the upper West Midtown area. This is an area where I think we're going to see a lot of future development, and there's currently development happening around here in terms of outdoor walking trails and connectivity to the Atlanta Beltline. So let me first draw kind of roughly where the Atlanta Beltline is currently or being built. So here is where the Beltline, we've got the Beltline coming up through here. And then it's not done, but right in through here is where it'll continue to be built, and then it'll connect up over into here. So now that we've got that, let me show you a couple of trails and places to live over here. So the Upper West Side, one thing about the Upper West Side is I feel like it's still a little bit more affordable than other parts of town, just because it's a little further out there. It's got a little bit more of an industrial feel, so it's not for everybody. But one thing that I like is that we've got a couple of neighborhoods right in here called DuPont Commons and West Side Park, and they're very planned communities, but in the middle of them there is a trail. It's just about a mile, and it'll connect over into a little area of some commercial places, and there's actually a gym over there as well. So there's a nice little walking trail here. But here's the exciting thing is that eventually this is going to connect, there's going to be a spur that connects this trail over into the Silver Comet. Now, if you've never heard of the Silver Comet, this is a massive, this is like the biggest trail. It's 61.5 miles and it goes, let me pull up a map here. Let's move my face out of the way. So the Silver Comet Trail starts in the city of Smyrna and it goes all the way out to the the Georgia-Alabama border. So if you're looking for some mad biking mileage, this is where you need to go. It's really pretty in certain areas like tree coverage, just flat trails. This is where you'd want to get some miles in. But what they're working on is, you see this green line right here, they're looking to potentially connect some of this Upper West Side to this Silver Comet Trail, which would be really, really cool. So we're talking about, you know, and I don't know the specifics of where it would be falling at, but it would come up somewhere through here and then onward and into the Smyrna area and connect that way. What they are also doing, let me pull up, I've got another map here. So the trail that I just showed you that is currently there, that's this red line right here. It's called the Whetstone Creek Trail. I think they're gonna like rename it the Woodall Trail, which is going to connect over here into what will eventually be the Beltline. So actually this little green line right here is actually done. I actually walked this path not too long ago. It runs behind Bacchanalia, and this is over kind of in what they call the Blandtown neighborhood. So this little trail will take you from basically the Bacchanalia restaurant, and it'll bring you up to the Chattahoochee Food Works. So this piece of the trail is done. I think they may be working on this part that will connect here over into this current trail, which will then eventually connect over into the Silver Comet Trail. Man, that was a mouthful to say, but hopefully you're sticking with me here. Anyway, there's a lot of future trails that are very exciting to help connect some of this Upper West Side area into eventually the Beltline. This purple line is a Beltline spur that is done, and then this black part will connect over into the Beltline, which I don't have my drawing tool, there we go. The Beltline, which will be roughly somewhere in through here. So again, just a lot of great connectivity up in the Upper West Side over to basically the Beltline. And you're gonna see like that Beltline is definitely a common theme of, if you wanna live near active stuff, just live somewhere by the Beltline. Okay, now I'm gonna move a little further north. I'm gonna get into the South Buckhead area. And I will say, unless you know about these neighborhoods, you probably don't even know that there is a small section right here of the North Side Beltline that is finished. Yeah, it's about just under a mile long, but it is a beautiful area. This runs along Collier Hills, which is a neighborhood right here. Spring Lake is right, well, I went a little too far there. Spring Lake is kind of like right in here. And then north of it, we've got like this Peachtree Battle area that all are right next to the Bobby Jones Golf Course. And the Bobby Jones Golf Course, there is actually a walking trail around it. It's about a 2-mile loop. So if you live in any of these neighborhoods, it's very easy to get onto a trail here around the Bobby Jones Golf Course, and you can connect onto this North Side Beltline Trail. Yeah, and eventually this will get built out, so then you could walk over into the West Midtown area, or you could keep on going, and this part isn't done, but it'll, you know, eventually connect over into this other southern part of the Buckhead area, Peachtree Hills. That part isn't quite done yet, but yeah, these areas are beautiful, and you know, you've got some nice playgrounds, and there's a park here called Tanyard Creek Park. I've got it covered up here, but it's right in there. There's a cute little playground there. There's Ardmore Park. That's this area right here. And also, you know, if you are living in a condo building right here along Peachtree Road, you have pretty easy access over to this North Side Beltline Trail. Let me erase all that. So here, if you live along Peachtree Road in a condo, you can cut through one of these streets or these side streets into Ardmore Park and connect onto the North Side Beltline. So even if you're living in a condo over here in the southern Buckhead area, you have access to some green space, which is really, really great. Now let me move up a little further. Now this is by far one of the other very popular larger parks here in the Atlanta area, and this is the Chastain Park. Chastain Park is located in the Buckhead area as well, and it is surrounded by a neighborhood called Chastain Park. And I'm not going to draw this to the exact dimensions, but roughly, you know, you've got Chastain Park. Actually, this might be going up a little further, but anyway, you get the point. There's a neighborhood here called Chastain Park that surrounds the actual green space of Chastain Park. And Chastain Park is 268 acres. It used to be Atlanta's largest park. Now the Westside Park that had opened up a couple years ago is now the new largest park. But Chastain Park is a beautiful area. If you walk the perimeter of this park, I believe you get just under 4 miles, but there's a bunch of different loops in there that where you can get anywhere from 2.6 miles up to 6 miles. So it just kind of depends on what loops you're taking. But it's a relatively flat terrain, a little bit of rolling hills here and there. It's surrounded by a public golf course here, but there's some great amenities in this park as well. There's a pool, there's a horse barn if you like to ride horses, there's a nice little playground for the kids, lots of baseball fields. So it's just a beautiful area to walk around. Again, this is an area where you're probably going to want to put on your fancier gym workout clothes. You're going to see people, you know, working out in their makeup, you know, that kind of thing. A beautiful area to walk around, very pristine. But yeah, if you don't live in Chastain Park, most likely you're going to need to drive over to access this park. Now, if you're into more boutique gyms, there are tons of them right here along Roswell Road. I mean, you can see there's one right there, Fitness Depot. If I typed in, let me see if I can do that real quick. Yeah, so you're gonna get an Orange Theory, you're gonna get this Ally Personal Training, Anytime Fitness, H Fitness, whatever that is. I mean, there's a bunch of like different boutique gyms along here. So if you're into more of that kind of fitness, you can easily find that here along the Roswell Road area. Now, one thing I will mention, if you are into like the best gym ever, there was a new Lifetime gym that opened up here in the Buckhead area. It's in the back of kind of like the Phipps Mall area. It's this Lifetime Fitness. It's a beautiful gym. I mean, they've got like 3 or 4 stories worth of gym studios and workout classes, you know, cardio equipment. There's an outdoor pool. They do not have a basketball court. I know I posted a video about this Lifetime gym on my Instagram, and everyone commented like, where's the basketball courts? And they do not have basketball courts. So but if you're looking for a really nice Lifetime gym, I mean, it's going to cost you a lot more. I mean, you could spend a whole day there if you wanted to, but there is a fairly new Lifetime gym that opened here up in the Buckhead area, kind of in the big commercial area. So if you're living in a condo here in the Buckhead area and your condo building doesn't have the best of gyms, well, just shoot over to Lifetime Fitness, and I mean, it has everything except for a basketball court. Okay, now let me shoot up here kind of in the North Brookhaven area and talk about a couple of places here. Now, this area again is more for like your outdoor physical fitness. There's a few places here and there for actual gyms. Let me search the area so you can kind of see. You're going to see most of them are going to pop up here along Peachtree Road here. You're going to get a couple of boutique places, local places, and then, you know, some more like Orange Theory. I think there's also an LA Fitness around there as well. But what I wanted to point out was a couple of parks here. We've got Keswick Park and we've got this Blackburn Park. This is bordered by, you got this neighborhood here called Sexton Woods, and then Keswick Village is right in here. Very cute neighborhoods. And then we've got this area around Murphy Candler Park. So a lot of green spaces right here, very close by to each other. Let me talk a little bit about each of these and describe them. So Keswick Park is, again, there's a couple of tennis courts, some green fields, a soccer field for the kiddos, some playground equipment. There's also Blackburn Park, which again is more like tennis courts, baseball fields, soccer fields. There is a nice little walking trail in through here. I don't think it's super long, but it's nice if you're looking for just a short jaunt. You can find that here. So what I like about this Keswick Park area is it connects into what is called the Chambly Rail Trail. Kind of goes like this all the way up to, which they just opened up this new section, or maybe it goes this way, but it'll connect you right over here to a place called the Assembly. This is like a movie production studio area, so it's kind of a cool place to walk around as well. But what I like about this area is you get a bunch of little downtown Chamblee local restaurants that are fun to walk by or even stop in and get us something to eat. So it kind of feels like a mini Beltline. There's a few little commercial places here. You can connect over here into a shopping area that has a Whole Foods, a Taqueria del Sol, a couple other casual eateries, and there's also like a Walmart right here. So again, it just feels like a mini Beltline, which is kind of nice, and you can find a little bit of a cheaper option of living over here in the Chamblee area than you would like in Midtown, that kind of thing. And like I pointed out, you have a lot of small little mom and pop gyms right here. Now, I wanted to mention one other park, which I briefly pointed out here, but if you go a little further north here, we've got Murphy Candler Park. Now, this is, you know, a nice green space. I would say more for, you know, if you've got kids and they like to play baseball, tons of baseball fields right around here, but there's also some nice walking trails along this little lake right here. So I would say primarily this is known for baseball fields and just kind of like a nice scenic walking trail. So that's another one I wanted to point out for you. Okay, so now let's move southwards. We're making kind of a big circle around Atlanta. I want to go into the North Decatur area, which is kind of like right up in here. So here's what I love about this area. One, you know, the prices are a little bit better than what you'd find if you're in the city of Decatur or closer into town. But what I love about this area, and I've pointed this out in several of my videos of the neighborhoods around here, is there is a nice series of trails right in through here called the South Peachtree Creek Trail. It's got like 3 different trails right here. What they do is one of them, it connects this Mason Mill Park right here over to Medlock Park. So Medlock Park has some playground equipment, baseball fields, there's a public swimming pool. Mason Mill Park, if you're into tennis, they have a lot of tennis courts at the DeKalb Tennis Center. There is a nice fun playground for kids. And also just some nice, you know, picnic areas as well. But it runs along to kind of where all of these trails meet. And another thing I love about these trails is a lot of them are like this boardwalk trail style. So these are great trails to walk in, especially in the summertime, because it's relatively shaded. So when it's really hot out, it's nice to be able to walk under some shaded areas. But you can also take this one trail that will connect you over into the Emory area, which is pretty cool. And you can actually take more trails around this little Lake Claire pond, and it will connect you over to what is called the Lowell Water Preserve. And over here, there's a nice little waterfall. There is a suspension bridge, which is really nice. So it's just like a really pretty area. So if you're looking for some outdoor nature, like definitely this Lowell Water Preserve area, you're going to get a combo of paved and unpaved hiking trails. But then everything around here that's between these parks is going to be more paved and boardwalk trails. So areas around here, like neighborhoods in terms of what you're looking at, I would say it's, you know, you're looking at Leafmore Creek, Medlock Park, Claremont Heights, all of these areas, or into even the Druid Hills area. It's not too far away to access. Now, if you're looking for gyms, again, not as many gyms. There is an LA Fitness here in the Toco Hill Shopping Center, and a couple smaller specialized fitness gyms right in here. But yeah, if you're looking in the North Decatur area, this is, you know, living close to all of this would be great. And I'd say primarily what you're going to find around here are townhomes and ranch style homes. Again, if you have questions about any of these neighborhoods, like I've got videos on pretty much all these neighborhoods, just look them up on my YouTube channel or just reach out to me and we can talk further about what interests you in terms of your fitness, of what you're looking for. One final area that I'll talk about is the city of Decatur. If you are living over in the city of Decatur, I will say there are tons of mom and pop type of gyms. Let me just type this in here so you can see. Of course, it's going to, let me zoom in here. So there's going to be tons of different little gyms here. You got, you know, your big ones like LA Fitness, and then you've got smaller ones. You got Atlanta Barbell, Pinnacle Fitness Center, Live Oak Fitness, Snap Fitness. You know, there's a popular one called Fitwood over in the Oakhurst area. I don't think it's showing it right now up on my map. Yeah, so like Fitwood, which is group fitness. So there's just a ton of different gyms that you can join, or like Pure Bars there as well. Orange Theory Fitness, that's like right here in the downtown area. So definitely a lot of gyms to choose from in the Decatur area. But I think one other thing Decatur has a lot of are bike paths. Now, I am not a expert in the bike paths here in the city of Decatur. I just don't ride a bike, so I don't pay attention as much as where the bike paths are. But from what I saw online, there's like 9 miles of different bike paths that you can take here in the city of Decatur. I know one of them comes down into the downtown area, and then it spits you out here off of West College Avenue. One thing I'll point out about West College Avenue is it connects you over into or onto the Stone Mountain Trail. Now, the Stone Mountain Trail is actually 19 miles long, but I will say sometimes you don't even know that you're on the Stone Mountain Trail, because it starts in the Centennial Olympic Park, which is in the downtown Atlanta area. And it really just kind of merges with existing trails or sidewalks that sometimes you would never know that you're on the Stone Mountain Trail, but it follows a path right here, and it cuts through city of Decatur. It goes up into the northern part of Avondale Estates, which is like right over here. It comes in through Scottsdale and then goes into Clarkson over into Stone Mountain. Now, that's not to scale there, but it's roughly speaking, you know, what the trail's like. So if you're looking for a good bike path, definitely, I know that if you go eastward towards Stone Mountain, you're going to find some good paths that are, you know, you can tell that you're on a path, versus when you are going west into town, it kind of turns into just the sidewalk. You wouldn't know that you are on a path. And one side note I will say is that, you know, Stone Mountain, all this is OTP. I will talk about it briefly. Is Stone Mountain is a fun place to go and take some hikes and walks or jogs around. And they have that, you know, you can climb the Stone Mountain, and to the top of the Stone Mountain, it's about a 1 mile walk up the Stone Mountain. And even if you've got a 5-year-old, they can do it. I've taken my kids, and they were able to achieve that. So that's another place to get out and get some exercise. Woo, okay, I think I worked up a sweat just talking about all these different neighborhoods. I need a drink of water here. But before I go, I just want to say thank you for watching. And hey, if you've got questions about any of these neighborhoods, you know, I've got videos pretty much on all these neighborhoods where you can have an active lifestyle. But the quickest way to figure out where to live is just reach out to me. Let's have a call, a discussion, and we can talk about neighborhoods that fit your lifestyle and your budget. And I love talking fitness, so if fitness is your jam, it's mine too. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. All my contact information is down below. So hope this video was helpful for you. I'm going to finish my little protein drink here and get on with my day. So go live that active lifestyle, and until next time, you guys, I'll see you around the neighborhood.